Okay, this week we're doing a book review, and we're not watching a movie or a TV show this week. Okay, we're gonna try to enlighten our minds with something educational. This week we're reading a book called The Math Kids. It's book 4 in a series of books written by David Cole. And this is book number 4 called The Encrypted Clue. Okay, and it's illustrated by Shannon O'Toole. Now, Arianna is going to review the book for us. Arianna, what age do you think is appropriate for this book?
I think it's 8+ because it has like ciphers and codes that little kids probably wouldn't know about.
Yeah, I don't think Rayon here could ever read this book yet. Is that right, Rayon?
No, I read stuff. I did a cipher.
You did a cipher too?
Yeah, he did a pig pen cipher inside this book.
My sister made a cipher for me and I solved it easily.
That's because you had the key.
Okay, fine. Maybe in a little bit he'll learn how to read better and do that book. Anyhow, can you give us a little review on this book? Give us a little summary of what this book is about.
Okay. Well, in this, the new kid, Stephanie Lewis, finds a secret writing in the margin of a book that she had just gotten. And it's about the history of the town that she's in.
Okay, and who's your favorite character in the book?
I think it's Catherine.
Okay, and name all the characters in the book.
There's Catherine, Stephanie, Justin, and Jordan.
So basically, it's like a group of kids and they solve mysteries, but they use math.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like really super smart, right?
Yeah, it's like the kids from ABC Mysteries, except it's math. It's like the opposite.
Oh, wow. You know, there used to be a show a long time ago where a detective and his brother, who was a super math genius, they used to solve crimes together. And the show was called Numbers. So it's kind of like that. But this time it's like with the little kids, right?
Yeah, I think they're in like elementary school, I think.
They're kind of like your age, right?
Yeah, they're in McNair Elementary.
Okay, and you solved some of the puzzles that were inside this book.
Yeah, there were actually ciphers. I solved the pig pen cipher which was very easy. It's a very easy cipher, but some people think, and ciphers are different than codes. Because codes, it's going to be really hard to find that out because you need a whole code book.
Okay.
Ciphers, a lot of people know about because there could be different ciphers that you already know, like a pig pen cipher. People might already know about that, so it's very easy to find that one out.
Yeah. Arianna, when she figured out how to do the cipher, she was leaving ciphers for everybody in the house to solve.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
also, in this book, Justin, he's a very smart, and he thinks that actually Mr. Maynard is actually still alive, and he left that clue right now, like right before Stephanie got the book, because that cipher it's very easy to do, and it could take like 5 or 2 minutes.
Oh, so was there any cipher or puzzle inside the book that was kind of hard to solve?
I didn't really know the weighing one for like the fake coin and the real coin because I didn't really understand it. I don't think I'm up to that yet.
Yeah?
Yeah. Also, there was some
You mean you're not up to that in school yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you already read the whole book, right?
Yeah. But then there was also one of this frequency one that I knew nothing about. I'm not really up to percentages yet.
Okay. So you can tell everybody how old you are.
I'm 9.
And what grade you're in?
I'm in 4th grade. But this year, I'm going to be 10, so.
Yeah, but these kids are in the same grade, aren't they?
I think they might be in 5th.
Really? You better
Plus,
start getting smarter to solve these things.
I don't know.
I thought you were in a gifted and talented class.
Okay, yes.
Well, somebody hasn't been studying, I guess.
I do study.
By the way, you like this book, right?
Yeah.
Would you want to read all the other books in the series?
Yeah, I would. Also, there's going to be a 5th one coming out.
Yeah. It's a book series, so it should have a 5th one, and maybe a 6th one, and a 7th one, and an 8th one.
Also, it also talks about the periodic table of the elements.
Yeah. You didn't learn the periodic table yet.
No.
But it's good. It's a good book for little kids. It mixes math and science. Where the periodic table is basically science, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it mixes science and math
And the periodic table of elements, that really helped them out with their mystery, because it said something about, in one of the clues, it said something about the number 75. And when she looked on the table, she found the number 75.
Yeah.
No, wait, not 75. Looking.
Yeah.
Looking. This might take a long time.
Oh boy. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good book for kids to learn math and science and mix in mystery and adventure. And
79. Which means gold. So they were basically looking for gold. That's what they need to look for.
Oh, so they're looking for something on the periodic table that matches
Yeah.
what they're looking for. Okay, I see. So now you can actually use this book to learn about, science and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
there was also some man with a beard that has been following some of them around. And at the end of the book, they find out that this is a spoiler alert, that person is Mr. Maynard.
Oh, the same guy that left the clue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you think is there any like lingering plots in it that's gonna wasn't solved, or everything was solved in this book?
Well.
No?
They got 2nd place. So.
I mean, you didn't read the other books, so did you understand it, basically?
Yeah. Took me a long time to figure out who's who, but then I accidentally went to the back of the book, and then I found out who's Stephanie and who's Catherine.
Oh, okay. So, basically.
So Catherine was the one who wears the 55 on her shirt.
So, basically, you don't have to read the other books to understand the book. So, you can just pick up this book and start reading and understand it right away. Okay, so
Felix explains everything.
So let's give it a rating. What are you gonna give it? Thumbs up?
Thumbs up with all of my feet and hands.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. It's a big thumbs up. So, parents out there, if you have some kids around 4th or 5th grade, this is a great book for them to read. It's the Math Kids series, and they have 4 books. Let me see where what names of all the books are.
The first one. Can I say it?
Yeah, the first one is called what?
The first one is the Primetime Burglars. The second one is a sequence of events. The third one is an unusual pattern, and the fourth one, which is this one, is an encrypted clue.
All right, that's cool. So check them out, and you can buy them all over the place on bookstores and maybe on Amazon and wherever books are sold. All right. This episode is sponsored by Audible. You can get thousands of great selections of audiobooks, plus exclusive Audible originals you won't find anywhere else. And, you can get theatrical performances, A-list comedy, and best of all, even podcasts like this one. And all you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/the Geeky Dad podcast, and you'll get 30 days free when you sign up. When you download titles, you can listen to them offline anytime, anywhere. The app is free and can be installed on all smartphones and tablets. You can listen across devices without losing your spot. And if you can't decide what you want to listen to, don't worry. You can keep the credits for up to a year. And then you can binge them all in a whole series if you like. So, go to audibletrial.com/the Geeky Dad podcast and get your free trial on us. Help out the show, help out yourself, and listen to great audiobooks with A-list talent narrating. Right now I'm listening to Artemis, narrated by Rosario Dawson. It feels cool to have a celebrity narrating to you. It makes you feel special. So try it out. audibletrial.com/the Geeky Dad. And if you can't remember that, there's a link in the show notes. And just click on it, sign up, and help out the show and help yourself. Okay, we're here today with writer David Cole. He has a series of books called The Math Kids. Mr. Cole, the kids on the show, the Multiverse Kids, they reviewed the Encrypted Clue. Okay, my daughter loves the book. Okay, and
great.
Because of you, she got me. She's doing encryptions all over the house for me to figure out. Okay.
So you're gonna have to read the book to figure out what she's talking about now.
I know. I figured out the encryption. I'm very.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, she loves to solve like puzzles, and she loves math and stuff like that. So I thought what you're doing, sir, is God's work, in my opinion, because it's hard to engage kids and teach them at the same time and have fun and entertain them, and this book does all of that. And a lot of people can't figure out the right recipe to make math fun, and I think a lot of kids, I mean, not my kids love math, but some kids who are not into learning math too much, if they read this book, they'll probably like math better, I think.
Yeah, and that was the point, right? It was never about so much teaching math. It was really about come up with a good story. Kids are going to like a story. If a little bit of math sneaks in the window while they're reading the book, and they come out. And for those who want to learn more, there's puzzles in the book. There's an appendix with more stuff. There's teacher's guides, all kinds of things. But if somebody wants to just read a story, they can still have fun with the book. So that was kind of the goal. So it sounds like maybe I hit the mark, and that sounds great.
Yeah. It's if I can describe it, it's like Hardy Boys, Stranger Things, Scooby-Doo meets math.
Right. Little Encyclopedia Brown thrown in there. Those are all kind of books I read growing up, and I'm sure that influenced it as I was doing it.
Yes. The kids actually had a couple of questions.
Great. First of all, I'm terrified of the Multiverse Kids because I've been listening to podcasts and very bright, and man, they were tearing apart Spider-Man's costume. So I went, oh no, this is going to be trouble. So yeah, I'm a little scared of the questions, but happy to answer.
Yes. Well, they like your book, so you shouldn't be too scared. Okay. Now this is from my daughter. She wants to know, why is the number 55 Catherine's favorite number?
So that actually came out. Catherine was introduced in book 2. So it's a series of books, and you can pick up any one of them, just start wherever they are. But there are some things that kind of happened in the books, and it talks a little bit more about why that's her favorite number. And she wears a shirt that's got that on there all the time. And I go through some of this stuff, but one of the things we talked about in the series was something called the Fibonacci sequence. And it's a sequence of numbers, starts with 1 and 1. You add those together to get 2, and 1 and 2 you get 3, and 2 and 3 you get 5, and so on. That's the 10th number in the Fibonacci sequence, and that's why she was so thrilled with her. Her father's a math professor at the college, and always was having her look at numbers and find out what's special about a particular number. And I still do that with my kids, even as they've gotten older. I'll go 17, talk to me about 17. And they'll just come up with crazy things about the number 17. So yeah, that's a great question.
Okay, this is the next question. She wants to know, why did you use the Pigpen cipher?
That was one of the first ones I had learned growing up as a kid, and my friends and I would write, secret messages back and forth to each other. It's also a very easy one to pick up and learn. So in the book, the guy that wrote that didn't have a lot of time, so he was able to quickly put a secret message into the book. So that's why I chose that one, because it was quick for the man who wrote it in.
Okay. Her third question is, what are your plans for the future of this series?
So 5 books are out. Book 6, The Triangle Secret, comes out in April of this year. Book 7 comes out in October a year. My publisher is kind of likes publishing in April and October, so there'll be 2 a year, at least for the next 2 years. I'm also looking at the next 3 books. I'm always kind of thinking ahead of what else can I write about. So book 4 was my favorite book, the Encrypted Clue, up until book 6. In book 6, there's some international intrigue, and then they get involved with the FBI, and there's a lot of stuff going on with that. So that was pretty exciting. I've also noticed each of the books gets longer and longer. Because I have more and more I want to write about. First book, I think, was 120 pages, and now they're like 200 pages. And my next one's closer to 250 pages, and which is not a good idea, because I get paid the same amount for writing more words. I don't know, but they're fun to write, and so there'll definitely be more of them. And I was thinking about, I would love to get your kids' opinions on this. I was thinking about a book where it is just kind of short puzzle-y kind of things for kids who really like to do puzzles, just kind of a one-off book on that. So I've been kind of putting a little bit of that down on paper as I go along.
That's actually a good idea. Yeah. Something they can, maybe even a computer game.
Yeah, that would be fun. We're trying to get Tom Holland to star in the movie. But I don't know. He seems to be booked up with lots of things right now, so probably not going to happen.
I was going to tell you, this is really a great idea for a TV show, like on PBS, especially. Yeah,
I think it would be fun. And you could have different. You wouldn't have to do a whole story in an episode. You could break that over a couple different episodes,
right?
And so, and I actually talked to my publishers from Canada, and I was up in Toronto at a book signing, and I actually met with a guy that does animated kind of series. So we did talk about that. Then COVID hit, and that kind of slowed everything down. So we'll see what happens after that. I think it would be fun though.
Yeah, and I was thinking, what about a spinoff like the Science Kids?
Actually, I think that would be fun as well, because you got a ton of topics that you could do. I've also been asked about a younger series, more of a picture book with the young math kids kind of thing. And I have a great illustrator that I love working with. So yeah, that might be fun to do as well. And part of this came from the Magic Tree House books, where they were kind of just, and it was, I love those books. My kids love those books.
My kids love those books as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think it's great that you can learn a little bit, still have some fun doing it. And I've had parents contact me and say, my son hates to read, but I told him there was a little math and they were interested in math, and that got him to read. I've also had other parents go, my kids love to read, but they hate math. But now they're giving math kind of another look, like, hey, maybe there's something there that could work for them. So, I've kind of hit the mark with what I'm trying to do. Have some fun, learn a little bit of math. And I think one of the reasons kids struggle with math sometimes is you don't see anything exciting about math. It's, especially at a young age, it's a lot of worksheets and it's a lot of this basic stuff you're learning. So some of the stuff that are in these books are stuff that they may not see again for another 6 or 7 years. But it's like, oh, there's a whole possibility of what math can do. It can be used in everyday situations. So that's really what I'm trying to get. Just get kids excited. Once they're excited about math, they'll go and learn some on their own.
Right. When I was reading the book with the kids, I was telling them, it kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you remember, there was a show on CBS called Numbers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They solve crimes with math. So
yeah, kind of like the elementary school version of Numbers.
Yes.
If you think about it. Yeah. And plus they're really good friends. They're really close friends. They have each other's backs. And that's good to see those friendships as well. The first book, there was one girl and 2 boys, and they happen to be named after my kids. And my daughter gave me a lot of trouble. She goes, it can't be 2 boys and 1 girl. You need another girl. So I had to introduce another character in book 2 just to kind of keep my daughter speaking to me.
Okay. How many kids do you have, by the way?
I have 3 kids. 3 kids. Yeah. So
how, boys, girls, what?
My oldest is a daughter. She's actually finished medical school now, and she practices medicine. My middle son, Jordan, has Down syndrome, so he kind of hangs with us at home. And my youngest son, I'm kind of the dumbest one in the house most of the time. So that's okay. I can live with that.
Yeah. So let's go back and how did the idea began for this book? Like, did you write before?
I've written some plays and things like that, but so I've always enjoyed it, and some short stories and things. So I always enjoyed that part of it. But I was running a math camp for elementary school kids. And what I found was to keep them interested. My gosh, it was summertime and their parents were making them go to a math camp. So kind of torture. So I said, it's got to be fun for them. So I used stories and I used all kinds of games and things to teach subjects without them getting beaten over the head with math. I actually had some time on my hand and I said, you know what, I'm going to write a book on how to run a summer math camp. And I wrote about 2 pages and said, oh, this is a really boring book. I would much rather tell some of the stories. So I just started making a fictional account where I used some of the stuff I had done. And I'd actually written 3 books, just kind of playing with it. I hadn't even tried to publish them. Talked to a guy I worked with. He goes, you ought to try to get them published. And I said, no. And he goes, no, really, try. So I reached out to a publisher, and the very first publisher I talked to sent me a contract the same day, said, yeah, we'll take the first 3 books. And as soon as the first 2 came out, they said, what about 4, 5, and 6? Do you have a few more ideas in you? And I said, there's a lot of math out there.
How did you even approach that publisher? Because it's a publisher in Canada. Like, how did you even approach it?
I used there was a website that had a list of publishers and agents. And I actually thought they were an agent. So I didn't even get that part of it right. So I just wrote kind of a query letter saying, this is what it's about. I've got 3 books for you to take a look at, sent them a couple sample chapters. They asked for the whole books, and I sent them up, and they said, yeah, let's make this happen.
That's
So
a real
it's fun.
success story. Yeah, because a lot of writers, they work years and years and don't get no reply back from the companies or anything like that. And you didn't even have an agent or anything, right?
No, I still can't get an agent. I've still been trying to get an agent. I
Wow.
did publish another book, and I also got that published through a different publisher. So
Yeah.
I've not been doing the traditional route where you have an
Right.
agent that's selling these. So I've managed to get directly to publishers to get those out. And I think I just found a little market that's in
Little
there that
niche,
said,
right?
hey, nobody's doing this.
Right.
This is great. We'll be unique.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the same boat. I wrote like three books without an agent and 3 different publishers.
Right. Yeah, good for you. And so it's tough, but then sometimes you go, I don't know, that was pretty easy.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a little luck involved, or maybe what you got is really good, and they go, yeah, we want this.
How'd you find the illustrator for the book? The publisher hooked you up with that?
Publisher actually found the illustrator for me, and she's just been a dream to work with. You send her a copy of the book, she reads it, she comes up with the covers, the interiors, and she'll always send it to me and say, do you like this? And I don't think I think one time I said, could you make this person shorter or taller or move them over to this side? I think that's the only advice. I did not know what the characters look like until I got book 1. And the one that I call Justin, who's my youngest son, is actually kind of tall and thin, but he's kind of the shorter, a little bit pudgier character. And he goes, why'd you make me short? And I said, I didn't make you short. She wrote you in just the way that it came out. So yeah, she's been a delight to work with.
Are you releasing this book around the world in different languages? And
yeah, it's now been translated into 6 languages. Turkish is the latest language.
wow.
Also Chinese. So that's come some reason. I don't know how that came out, but I love I couldn't read it, but the title of the book in Mongolian looks like a math equation. So it's like perfect. I love this. There's some X's in there, and almost looks like equal signs. So yeah, that's great. So I think we're on 4 continents and 6 different languages. And again, my publisher is taking care of all that. They've got a translator that they work with, and so that part's been going really well. And that's the joy of having a publisher, is they can do that, and contracts and things that I wouldn't have the first clue.
Right. I mean, because of COVID, you probably can't do any like book signings or anything like that. I mean, how's that affected the way you're marketing the book? Because book signings really help a book.
They do.
Yeah,
they do. First book signing I did, just a quick side story. I went to it was in Toronto, and it was at a big librarian and teachers convention. And I'm in my booth, and I've got my books, and it's the first time I'm signing. I'm all excited. And I look at the line in the booth kind of next to me, kind of a little diagonal from me. And this line, I've got about 15 people in my line, and I'm feeling pretty good about this. I look at this line, it does not end. It is going around corners, it's going upstairs, it's coming back. And it's Dave Pilkey who does the Dogman books and Captain Underpants. And this line is just going on forever. And I was like, oh, well, maybe someday. But right now I got my 15 people. So I'm excited about that. I did end up signing, I think, about 200 books. So I thought that was pretty successfal for my first time. I love doing that. That's fun.
Very good. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah. I mean, when I did my first signing, I felt like a natural high came on me,
Yeah. It's a wonderful feeling that somebody's actually wanting this, and they're excited, and they're asking me questions. And the second most exciting thing for me is getting emails from kids. And I had 2 kids. It was a guy that I work with, and he's got twin girls, and I've met them just they've shown up in Zoom meetings and things. And I asked him, I said, I need some twins in a book. Can I put your kids' names in here? And he goes, oh yeah, absolutely. So I put him in there, and he sent me a video of them reading. The girls were reading the book, and they were videotaping, and they got to their names in the book, and just their expressions were just hilarious. And then they set up a Zoom call with me because they wanted to ask questions, and it was just the most fun. It is, like you say, like a natural high. Loved it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I really, I think this book, have you contacted anybody in the Board of Ed to see if they'd be interested in having this book be a part of their curriculum in some way?
I have talked to some math departments in school districts, and there's a couple that have ordered sets. And obviously, as an author, that's great because they're buying quantities of those. And I probably would be doing more of that, certainly locally, except everything's kind of shut down right now. As soon as that opens up again, I'm gonna try to get into more of that, because I think that's it's great. I had a teacher say, we use this book, we read it aloud, and when we get to a puzzle, we break into groups and the kids solve the puzzles, and they love it. They can't wait for another break and there's a puzzle in there. And okay, can we solve the puzzle? And I said, that's perfect. You got kids excited about a logic problem or doing some math, and it's a teacher's dream.
Yeah, I mean, is this book available digitally?
It is, yeah. So they do have there's ebook versions of it as well as the print versions.
Okay, good. But yeah,
there are teachers' guides for each of them too. So the publisher did put out teachers' guides for each of them specifically for classrooms, and they do some marketing into children's education markets as well.
That's wonderful. But I really think somebody in Hollywood or somewhere in Silicon Valley, you should contact Mr. Cole here and see if you can get like a movie deal or TV deal or a video game deal, because this is a prime franchise right here. It needs to be seen by everybody. I mean, I know I promote a lot of pop stuff, superheroes and all that stuff, but this should be what kids are focusing on, I think.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very kind words, and yeah, send them my way. I'd love to talk to
them. You have any plans for anything outside of the Math Kids franchise, so to speak?
No, I'm always writing. I always keep a couple of story ideas, and I did a YA novel, a young adult novel, and I've got a couple of adult novels that I think about. But this is going to probably keep me busy for the next at least 2 or 3 years, which is great. I always look forward to. I'm a different kind of writer. I have a new editor, and she said, "Can you send me an outline of your next book?" And I said, "No, I don't write that way. I have an idea, and usually it's based around a math concept, that one bigger math concept. And this latest book that I'm writing, the kids are on a plane, they're headed to London, and I know I'm going to talk about artificial intelligence. Is going to be kind of the theme around the book."
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where it goes, and sometimes it leads me in a different direction. So it's fun for me to write because I don't know what the ending is, even when I'm writing it. And so to me, it's enjoyable. I write as a reader, and I'll go back and read. Yeah, I love that. That was fun.
That's the best way to write as a writer. You always write for yourself first.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's fun. The nice thing about a series is you can kind of grow with the characters. The characters are getting older now. In fact, the book I'm doing, they're between 5th and 6th grade now, so they're going to be going into more of a middle school kind of setting, which can open up different storylines and
right. I mean, are you gonna as the kids age in the books, would the book get more sophisticated, geared towards that age group as well?
It will, right. So it's kind of like my kids were big Harry Potter fans.
Exactly.
So I read the books right along with them.
The same thing, yeah.
And if you look at book 1 versus book 7, just in length and sophistication, and they got a little darker near the end as well. And my daughter grew up with that series, and it was perfect. So I'm trying to do the same thing. I certainly not comparing these to Harry Potter, but but to be able to have them grow, the story ideas can get more complex. The math can get tougher as well. So that's fun.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Let's go back to when you were a little Cole. Okay, when you're a little kid. Were you always interested in like math, like how you are now?
Yeah, I probably always liked I like solving problems. So I don't know if it was always math, but math was probably my favorite subject as I grew up. And I always wanted to. I remember third grade. I remember my teacher. I would learn how to do the math, but I would never turn in the homework. And she called my parents. I have to give him a D in this class. My mom goes, what? He's really good at math. She goes, yeah, he gets hundreds on all of his tests. He doesn't like doing the homework. So I really just kind of needed to be challenged. Once I learned how to do it, I wanted something else. So I did end up doing a lot of stuff on my own. I did turn in my homework after that, that's for sure. But so yeah, I've always liked that and just solving problems. I like building things and tinkering. And I'm teaching a class in a few weeks on magic for elementary school kids. I know nothing about magic, so I've been learning magic and how to build magic tricks and things like that. So I've been doing a lot of study and just anything new. I love jumping into that, and we'll see how that goes. It could be an unmitigated disaster, but who knows? I'm gonna enjoy it, I think.
Maybe you can add. I know there's some magic tricks that deal with math as well, like mathematical magic tricks. Have you gone into that?
Yeah, they'll certainly be one of the classes is going to be on the math side of things. I used to run this elementary math camp, and I had one kid that for about 3 days he was kind of going through the motions. He wasn't excited about anything, and we started doing Mobius strips, which can be pretty amazing. And you cut these in half, and they don't do what you think they're going to do, and they form different shapes than you think. And he did this for about 10 minutes, and he comes up to me and he said, "Mind blown." Was all and I said, okay, I got to it. And then he spent the next like 2 hours cutting these strips and doing all this stuff with them. And when I would teach math classes, I would always do something with that. And they're always, it's just amazed. They always called it math magic. So I'll certainly spend at least one class, one of the 6 classes, talk about the math side of things.
That's great. That's great. So when you were a kid, what exactly did you get obsessed about, like fandom wise, like which TV shows you used to like when you were growing up?
Yeah, well, going back a ways, but I love Johnny Quest and those.
Yeah.
So a lot of cartoons, but I like the.
I mean, there's a little bit of Johnny Quest in this.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm just missing a dog named Bandit. Maybe we'll get a dog in there. I loved the Hardy Boy books to read.
Oh yes, Hardy Boys.
I loved comic books.
Yes.
Not Marvel, surprisingly. I was on the DC side for
I'm
all
a
of that.
DC guy myself. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, of course, Marvel's done just such a good job with the movies and tying things together, and you can't miss anything because they tie them all together. You have to watch every single movie and TV show where you feel like you're left out. So
exactly.
Geniuses over there.
Exactly. They know how to grab you.
Right. And whereas DC seemed more kind of character by character. It was Superman, or it was Batman, or it was Green Lantern, or whatever it was. But Marvel did a great job of tying them in together.
Have you have anybody approached you on turning the books into like a graphic novel or anything? Because I know that
graphic novels. Yeah, graphic novels are hot.
Very big.
And I think that would be fun. I think that'd be a fun way to do that. In fact, maybe the puzzle one I thought about, maybe that should be more of a graphic novel. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Because I've seen a lot of they're taking a lot of young adult books and translating them into graphic novels now, like Babysitter's Club. I think Hardy Boys also.
Right. And any time you can get kids to read, right, and enjoy it. Doesn't really matter if it's an ebook or if it's a graphic novel or if it's a comic book or if it's an old-fashioned novel. If they're reading, they're going to absorb some knowledge. They're going to pick up some stuff, vocabulary, and and just different thoughts than they have. And so anything that gets them to do it, I think is great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my daughter is probably obsessed with reading all the time, and I mean it gets so crazy that sometimes she's hiding a book to read at the dinner table. Okay. So a lot of times, and you won't believe this, but she can have, like, I'll say an iPad over here, right? And you think she's on the iPad, playing around. Then when I take the iPad away, there's a book behind the iPad.
Just the opposite, right? It used to be you're hiding behind a history book and you're reading a comic book behind that, but now they're oh, it's an iPad. No, it's a book. It's really a book underneath there. So that's hilarious. Yeah. You know what? And to me, I my son went to a top-notch school. My daughter went to Harvard, and I've had parents say, how did your daughter get into Harvard? I said, I would love to say there was a magic formula. She loved to read. We did a lot of reading together, which I think is important as a parent. And I said, once a kid is obsessed with reading, they're going to just absorb knowledge. And that's all it is. After that, it's easy. You get them excited about that. They'll find subjects they like and read more and more about that. And it's great.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what I'm trying to do with this show. I'm trying to tell parents, you have to engage with your kids in conversation. And I mean, we don't really watch that much TV in our house. We watch one thing every week, and then we sit down and we discuss about it afterwards. And, I think it's a great way to express yourself with the kids and communicate with the kids. And I think more parents should do that,
Right.
Talk to your kids, engage with them,
Yeah, absolutely. And engage at their level, right? So if they're really big in sports, learn some about sports and talk with them about sports. And if it's Marvel movies, then join in the fun, right? I read Harry Potter because my daughter was reading it and I wanted to know and be able to discuss with her. And then I was like, okay, these are pretty good. So I kept reading some more. And then we would fight. Book 7 came out. And now my son's reading them, and the three of us, we had to buy 2 copies because we were all fighting over one copy. We all had our own bookmark in there, and I said we got to have at least one more of these to read. So, and that's a great thing. And you're right, you have to engage with your kids and do it regularly, and just listen to your podcast. Congratulations on your success, by the way. It's just the conversations. You can tell they're really natural, fun conversations that I imagine are happening with the microphone off or on. Doesn't matter. I think you're having those conversations.
This is the truth, because before we even started this podcast, this is how we used to engage with each other, and I just decided, just record it one day. And that's how it started, Yeah,
that's amazing. And great things come from little ideas like that. So keep at it. It's been fun to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, we want to branch out and do other things besides, comic book movies and TV shows, So that's why we're gonna do some books. We got a lot of books lined up, and I'm glad that we got your book on this list of books that we're doing.
Yeah, so I think it's great, right? I mean, it's great that your daughter read the book and can ask some questions about it. And, as an author, that's what you want. You want to engage with people. So if you can do that, and as a parent, it's tough. There's so many options out there, and so many books and things. To hear something that somebody's already read and go, my kids really like that. Or, maybe this wasn't their favorite, but this one liked it and this one didn't like it, or whatever. That's all good knowledge for a parent to kind of say, hey, let's try this out.
Yeah. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. And, I hope when you get the new book, you can send it out to us and we'll do another review.
Yeah, absolutely. Always like to get feedback. And it was an absolute pleasure talking with you. This has been,
she's
fun.
She's been bugging me. She's like, I want to read the other books. And, the good thing is, she thought this was book 1. And she was, oh no, this is not the book one. But I said, you could read it and let me know if you're going to understand it. And you know what? She understood it perfectly fine. She only had a couple questions here and there, but overall she understood the characters and everything and the motives and everything, So you don't need to read the other books to catch up on any of the books. Basically.
No, and that's what I tried hard, and that can be tough with the series because sometimes it's like, no, you got to start all the way back at the beginning. And I do notice that when a new book comes out, I do see a lot of sales of the earlier books,
right?
Which, as an author trying to make a little money on it, that's great to see. But I also wanted people to be able to pick up a book, get into it, and read it. Maybe you miss a little backstory, but on the whole, you go, okay, I get it, and I know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, you did a good job, sir. And
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's a great idea, and I think all parents should get a book like this from you. Get the Math Kids. What's the best place to get it? Amazon, or should we go directly to the
Amazon? Certainly. If my website is just themathkids.com. You can read a sample chapter of each of the books. You can order directly. It'll take you to the Amazon link to do that. But you can find out more. You can read reviews, the whole bit. I keep blogging what's coming up and things like that. So that's a good way for people to get introduced to them. Just themathkids.com.
Okay, and any teachers listening to the show, they can get a teacher's plan as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always happy to talk to classrooms too. I've done that a few times where kids just want to ask about it. Well, how do you become a writer? And maybe it's something about math, or maybe it's something about writing, or they just want, somebody come in for 20 minutes or whatever and do it. Or if they're local, I can come in to do it. That's always fun as well.
Okay, that's very, very, very good. I think any teachers out there listening to this podcast, he would be a great guest to have in the classroom, all right? And the kids are gonna love the book, really.
Well, thank you. I'm now hiring you as my publicist.
Well, I'm my own publicist. Why not? Let's branch out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pick up the Math Kids at Amazon or at the mathkids.com. All right? Thank you again for being on our show.
Right. Perfect. And thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
I want to thank Mr. David Cole for being on the show. If you have any kids out there that don't like math, this is the best book to get your kids. And and if you have kids that actually really like math, well, this is even better. Yeah. So, if you have a bookstore, if there's still bookstores out there, go there and demand that they order some of these books, and go online, go anywhere that you get your books and order this book. It's a great book. And I definitely, give my endorsement of it. Now, come back next week. We're going to have more fun and some more hijinks. And, leave a review on the show. We're going to start reading some of the great reviews that everybody leaves soon. So, next week, if you leave a review, we might even mention you. So, enjoy your life, enjoy your kids, and have some fun, and come back next week once again. Bye.